And now, moving on, a day after Iran President Ebrahim Raisi, along with his foreign minister, died in a helicopter crash, the government on 20th of May of India announced a one-day mourning on the 21st of May throughout the country. On Tuesday, the national flag will be flown at half-mast through India on all the buildings, and there will be no official entertainment on this day.
After hours of search amid dense fog in a mountainous region, rescuers in Iran were able to find the wreckage of the helicopter carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, Foreign Minister Hossein Amin Abdullahian, and two top officials. With this, the worst was confirmed. All on board were killed. Raisi, who was elected as the president in 2021, was for long seen as a potential successor to the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Before entering politics, Raisi served as the Chief Justice of Iran. His short term in office saw various breakthroughs at the international level, including the resumption of ties between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Tehran also became a BRICS member. Just days before his death, India and Iran signed a deal to develop the Iranian port of Chabahar. With Ibrahim Raisi's death, Mohammad Mukber has become the interim president. An election is likely to be held within 50 days. Meanwhile, tributes from global leaders have been pouring in. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he was deeply saddened and shocked. He added that Raisi's contribution to strengthening India-Iran bilateral relationship will always be remembered. UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan said that his country stood in solidarity with Iran in this difficult time. EU Chief Charles Michel also expressed his sincere condolences. Bureau Report, DD India.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei announced 5 days of public mourning for President Ebrahim Raisi following his death in a helicopter crash and confirmed First Vice President Mohammad Mukber as interim head of country's executive branch. Iran now has a maximum period of 50 days before a presidential election that must be held to choose Raisi's successor. Iranian government convened a cabinet meeting on Monday as the country mourned the death of its president. Iran's first vice president, Mohammad Mukber, who became the interim president, also attended the meeting. Meanwhile, residents in Tehran expressed their shock over Raisi's death. They called the incident tragic.
When this happened yesterday and now this morning, when the news was confirmed, we really felt as if we lost an important support and weight.
It was really unfortunate news, not only for me but for many people in this country. After all, he is the elected president of the nation. The deceased was very active. They tried to follow up on things every day, and this saddened us more.
Now, DD India Stuart Smith joins us for more details. A very good evening to you from India, Stuart. Now, the cabinet has convened. What are the big changes that we see, and how are they going to impact the official positioning of Iran at international stage? Stuart.
So out of a concern for exactly this, continuity and stability of governance, already an acting foreign minister has been appointed. Similarly, in the regional official who died, the East Azerbaijan region official has been temporarily placed to make sure that continuity does continue. What's important to recall that in Iran, while this is the president who has died, it is not the most senior leader in Iran. That role is the supreme leader. He is still alive and absolutely fine and in control of the country. So he remains in charge, even though the president, who acts a bit more like a prime minister in Iran, has died. In the meantime, the vice president is arranging the continuity. He's already spoken to Russian President Vladimir Putin, for example. They've discussed that continuity, keeping Iran moving. And also, when it comes to legislation, already the Vice President has emphasized the importance of Parliament continuing to debate, continuing to look at legislation, and continuing the policies of the now deceased President.
And also, when we look at the events that are now coming up, after Lebanon, now Syria has also announced 3 days of national mourning. India has also announced a day of mourning. What more are we expecting on the process that would follow?
So three big things. A funeral, one of which is taking place right now in the capital city of the region where the president died. There will be a separate one, though, in his hometown to come in the next few days, also the most holy site for Islam in Iran. That will take place later. There's also an investigation, is the other thing that's very important, taking place over the next few days. That investigation will look at why this happened, why a helicopter, part of a convoy of 3, ended up crashing into the side of the mountain, and why all of these high-profile officials were in that same helicopter. The pilots commenting on this event have suggested that it's meaningful that no Mayday signal was released before that happened. That would imply that there was a sudden incident with pilots focusing on trying to maintain control while the helicopter crashed. And then the final thing is looking to the elections. We know there's 50 days according to the Constitution for those to be arranged, and the Vice President says the wheels are already in motion for those to happen. But what's not happening is cultural events. They, for the next 7 days, have been cancelled while that 5-day period of mourning takes place.
All right, thank you so much, Stuart, for joining us and bringing us the latest on this. Now, India and Iran established diplomatic ties in 1950s. Under President Ebrahim Raisi, relations between the two nations saw a boost due to various deals and interactions. So, India and Iran signed a 10-year pact to develop the Iranian port of Chabahar. Now, Iran officially also became a member of the BRICS Forum. Pushing for greater use of national currency, India and Iran held discussions on using rupee and rial in bilateral trade as well.